For the very first time, we take you inside Luzira prison. With our cameras rolling from the compound to the wards, this is the story inside Luzira prison.
On the last episode, brought to you by Orange is the #1 internet provider, giving you the fastest internet speeds everywhere. Deception.
You're going to call him.
Make sure you throw out that woman away. You throw her out of that house.
I need to tell Chris the truth.
Just push yourself. I'm your wife. Can you listen to me?
I saw Chris with the doctor this morning.
He left it at the restaurant today.
Chris is serious.
This family has made me reach my breaking point.
I hate you, Chris.
I've got eyes and ears everywhere. I broke this deal, okay? And whatever way it goes, I must have my share. The police was coming for both of you. Come.
Where is my wife?
Deception.
Good evening once again. I am Rukshana Namaimba. Emotions ran high in Busoga region when a minister and lawmaker were heckled at a function in Kalira district by crowds who were paying allegiance to Prince Edward Columbus Wambuzi. Legions of his supporters say Wambuzi is the legitimate Chabazinga, barely a month after Nadiope Gabula was crowned as the king.
Business in Kaliro district came to a standstill yesterday as droves of Prince Edward Columbus Wambuzi's loyalists paid allegiance to him. This comes barely a month after Wilberforce Gabula Nadiope was crowned Chabazinga last month. However, the legions of Wambuzi's supporters say he is a legitimate head of the Basoga.
The one who was coronated on 14th of September is a political Chabazinga.
Elated crowds thronged the Wambuzi's palace while singing slogans. The State Minister for Environment Flavia Munaba and Bulamoji County MP Kenneth Rubogo were attacked at the function. The crowd accused them of being part of the conspiracy that denied Wambuzi the seat. The occasion was planned to announce a 2-year development plan for the Balamoji clan. At the occasion, some supporters claimed they were possessed by spirits.
Now, a Ugandan man who was diagnosed with the Marburg virus has died of the deadly disease in Kampala. The 30-year-old medic passed on at Mengo Hospital, where he was working. Authorities at the Ministry of Health say they have isolated 79 people who are believed to have come into contact with him. Florence Naluimba has this report.
A 30-year-old health worker who's been battling the deadly Marburg virus was last week pronounced dead by doctors at Kampala's Mengo Hospital.
Preliminary reports also show that his brother, one of the contacts so far listed, has developed signs. He has subsequently been quarantined and isolated for further monitoring.
His brother, however, is not the only person who got into contact with the deceased.
So we have contacts, and we have 79 contacts. We have
relations between
maybe 24 to 88 of them will die.
Science say fruit bats of the Pteropodidae family are the natural host of the virus. Some people in Angola, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Uganda are known to eat them, and it's here that epidemics have been witnessed. Monkeys are also suspected to harbor the virus. The first Marburg cases were reported in Germany in 1967. They were from African green monkeys taken by scientists.
Is having awareness about
the theme For the Love of Kampala. The festival is aimed at preserving tradition and entertaining Ugandans as well as foreigners. Shilandu Huchire reports.
Scores of people started streaming into Kampala's central business district as early as 7 a.m. for the third annual Kampala City Carnival. The KCC Executive Director, Jennifer Mosisi, made a grand entry 2 hours later to cheers from revelers. Her procession had huge comical representations of the objectives that City Hall authorities have set out to achieve. Security was tight, with the deployment of both military and plain-clothed policemen. Business firms and exhibitors had their wares displayed all over the city to attract the public. Today, road teems with people and traffic. But today, all roads leading to the city were sealed off to allow free movement. The area had plenty of food, drinks, and entertainment. The event that will end late at night is estimated to have cost KCCA and private sector firms over 800 million Ugandan shillings.
Despite the leadership challenges that have gone on at City Hall, many people believe that this is an opportunity to celebrate and enjoy the achievements that KCCA has been able to achieve in the course of their leadership. Shilandu Huchire, NTV, Kampala.
Now, President Museveni has called on Ugandans to be united and patriotic for the nation's development. The president was speaking at a fundraising ceremony at Namugongo, where he pledged 400 million Uganda shillings towards the construction of a museum at the Anglican Shrine. Solomon Kawesa reports.
Every 3rd of June, thousands of pilgrims from around the world flock Namugongo to commemorate the Uganda martyrs who were killed on the orders of Kabaka Mwanga for refusing to renounce their Christian faith. Their martyrdom is of great historical significance to the Anglican Church. It's against this background that the church has chosen to construct a 36 billion shilling museum to preserve its heritage. Although construction work has begun, the authorities need more money to complete it. They held a fundraising ceremony that was graced by President Yoweri Museveni as the chief guest.
And when we have a modern, magnificent museum, it will be doing two things. We shall be commemorating the martyrs and also a center of attraction for the tourists from all over the world.
The president urged Ugandans to be patriotic in his address. He hailed the church leaders for starting the project, which he believes would generate income for the church and the government.
We can get a lot of tourists from the Christians in Europe, in America.
President Museveni pledged 400 million shillings for the project. The government has also committed to reconstruct the road connecting the two shrines from the Chalwajala suburb. This is the architecture plan of what the Uganda Matters Museum will look like after its construction that is estimated at about 36 billion shillings. Inside, it is going to house every single history about these young men who died for their faith. And according to the church, it is also going to be their source of income from the pilgrims. Solomon Kawesa, NTV.
Thank you, Solomon. We will take a short break, but still to come. Health focus this week. What are maternal health activists doing to reduce pregnancy-related deaths? And in the final episode of our Inside Luzira series, we take you into the health facilities of the Correctional Center. NTV Weekend Edition continues shortly.
You are watching NTV Weekend Edition.
Uganda-Rwanda Business Forum, under the theme Accelerating Regional Trade and Investment, at Kampala Serena Hotel on the 7th October 2014.
It's cool, comfortable, come from my trace. I feel softness and comfort in your bed today. It's from your tender, it doesn't get easy.
Comfort Mattresses, a product of the Youngtown Group of Companies.
Get your comfort mattress today.
I see colors, the wonder of colors in everything I touch, in everything that reminds me of a beauty, a life of plenty, in every little story, in every crowning glory. A new
Regal Paints. Paint it, love it.
It is of me. Tekisoboka okujja ngo badde onziba. Nedda boosi ku mutwalo gw'obadde ng'onsasula buli lunaku kwembadde nzigye 15,000 lwe lumba luno. Awo nkutegedde nammwe mwenna mutereke ne Pride Microfinance musobole okwefunira ebirungi. Pride Microfinance enkulaakulana nayo bw'ekwesiima kwaffe.
Episode of the Dr. Tana Show.
People think that I'm strange now.
His wife called me to find out why he's been acting this weird.
I've hardly seen a live game in my own home.
What? This is sad.
People want to talk to me about the game.
Did you watch the game last night?
So I try my almost to avoid them because I haven't seen the games yet.
We told him not to get that decoder.
Look at this family before they got DSTV. Then look at them now. These guys are enjoying sporting action like the Champions League, the EPL, NBA, Formula One, and so many more on Super Sport channels on DSTV. If it's not DSTV, then turn it off. Yes, just turn it on.
You are brilliant.
Win big in the Suddenlink Scratch for a Car promotion. For every 100,000 shillings you spend on Suddenlink products, you receive a scratch card. Scratch reveal to spends, airtime, mobile phone, Scratch for a Car. Terms and conditions apply. You are watching
Now, the Ministry of Gender, Labour and Social Development is working closely with agencies that are fighting graft to recover millions of shillings disbursed to youth groups under the government's Youth Livelihood Programme. The revelation was made by the Ministry's Permanent Secretary Pius Bijirimana at a recent interview with NTV. We have more.
I'm trying to involve the transparency, accountability institutions like IGG. People arrested. I can tell you that in Rengo, I can tell you in Karungu, and all of these will have intervened.
Bijirimana, however, admits that the project is facing serious challenges with regard to getting competent personnel in rural areas to implement the multi-billion shilling program.
You find maybe we don't have community development officers, we find we don't have good financial managers, we find we don't have good procurement officers. So this one hampers the progress.
The rollout of this program has been criticized by some youth for reportedly favoring some districts. But Bijirimana says clear guidelines have been set for all districts to follow.
They have put their youth fund and it's not accessible.
We set up some guidelines which must be followed by everybody, because we do not want to have mistakes made.
The Youth Livelihood Program is the successor of the Youth Venture Capital Fund that was widely criticized for excluding the wider community by making banks disperse the 25 billion shillings among the youth.
Ugandan teachers joined their counterparts around the world to mark World Teachers' Day. The day is held annually on the 5th of October to commemorate teachers' organizations. The local teachers celebrated the day in different places of worship around Kampala.
Let your requests be made known to God and the peace of God.
A teacher is a leader. A teacher is an instructor. A teacher is a very important person. He whom undermines the teacher undermines himself.
We have a challenge of capitation grant remittance. It comes very in a late way. Teachers' salaries, some of them have got monies more than others have got less. But what is bringing all these changes is because we don't have the systematic way of handling this.
Today, the Oromo people, Ethiopia's largest ethnic group, celebrates Irecha, a festival of thanksgiving. Oromo communities spread out across the world on this day perform rituals around water sources to thank God for enduring the rainy season and ushering in the spring season. The Oromo community in Uganda have held their celebrations at the Kabaka's Lake in Rubaga. Gertrude Tumsime with Kware reports.
Scores of the Oromo, one of the largest Cushitic ethnicities, this afternoon marched to the Kabaka's Lake in Rubaga to celebrate the Irecha Day. Men, women and children donning Ethiopian culture wear performed rituals at the lake in recognition of this day. This day is perhaps one, if not the most important, in the annual calendar of the Oromo. It is a day of thanksgiving as they mark the transition from a bad spell of heavy rains to usher in a new season.
You thank God by catching those things you have asked God, that to say that I have received what I've prayed for. So thank you, God. I've received the crop. I've asked you. Here are the crops. I've received.
The day falls on either the last Sunday of September or the first Sunday of October. When the water level in the river drops, flowers blossom and newly budding leaves crop to life. Celebrants march with flowers and grass in their hands.
A flower is a crop, a sample of crop. A grass is a sample of what they have asked for their cows. Oromo have cows.
Everyone, regardless of race, is welcome to join in the celebrations. Upon reaching the shores of the Kabaka's Lake, the elders prayed for blessings. As a symbol of thanksgiving, each participant, led by the grass and flowers in the water as they sprinkle it on their backs.
Rain brings water. So when we are thanksgiving, when the rain is gone, means we have to go to the water as a sign of we have got that there to show God that water exit for.
The rituals, according to elders here, are performed on water to thank God for the heavy rains that pounded the land and for calming the rivers to help them connect to their loved ones they had not seen in a while.
We are Uganda.
After performing rituals on water, it is time for merrymaking. The people share meals washed down by local brew. As Ethiopians are accustomed to eating raw meat, the Oromo like this delicacy. To blend well with the custom, I also had a share of this meal. Irecha is also a day of exchanging pleasantries and reconciliation, olive branches to their adversaries. On such a day, people also meet potential marriage partners. The colorful day goes down with vigorous dance interspersed with a cacophony of culture tunes.
This day is not only about Thanksgiving, it is also a day of social bonding where people come together and rejoice for not meeting for such a long time.
Gertrude Tumusime Uitkwari, NTV.
Thank you, Gertrude. Now, statistics from the World Health Organization show that 290,000 women die of pregnancy-related complications every year. Uganda is reported to have about 7,000 deaths, most of which are preventable. In this week's Health Focus, Florence Naluimba explores the measures that activists are taking to reduce maternal mortality.
For many women, the realization that they're about to become mothers, especially if the pregnancy is intended, is a great source of joy. Many work towards it. This lady who admits to being camera shy is ecstatic that she's about to bring her first child to the earth.
To discover you're pregnant, you should really go for antenatals. So it has helped most of us never to get sick.
Every morning I do exercise, like bathing with cold water very early in the morning, so that I can get some power.
They're all prepared for delivery, and the lady in red has just a few hours left.
I have the pain, but I can't stop smiling.
Last year, one woman was in similar high spirits when she drove to a leading hospital in Kampala to deliver. Unfortunately, Remi Wamala Nanonu died during childbirth and added to the country's already high mortality rate, where 438 women die of every 100,000 live births. Last month, her husband Godfrey Wamala fought back fond memories of his wife during the memorial service. Gripped with sadness over a death he says could have been prevented.
Because the baby was about 4.5 grams, and my wife was over 90. There was no need to deliver normally.
But the call was with the doctor and she was made to push. A bad call that caused Remi's death. The baby was saved, but the distress caused some complications. Ironically, Remi, a senior employee of Parliament, was an advocate for better maternal and child health. She was attached to the Parliamentary Forum on Children. About 20 women died daily in Uganda due to pregnancy-related complications. Bleeding after delivery is the leading cause of death.
We give fluids to this yes, where fluids cannot. So if you don't have blood, then you are finished.
It's therefore clear this country will not hit the UN Millennium Development Goal 5 of reducing maternal deaths. But Robin Abitei, the national coordinator of the White Ribbon Alliance, an umbrella board of organizations working to improve the maternal and child health, says activists are working hard to ensure that these needless deaths don't occur.
Many people look at maternal health as a health issue, but it's not just a health issue. It is a development issue, it's a social issue, and really it will contribute a lot to the stability of this nation.
She adds that more and sustained awareness is vital, not only amongst the mothers, but also at the highest levels of authority. Leaders are tasked to put this at the top of the agenda. Bitei echoes the call many leaders made recently in South Africa during the Partners Forum on Maternal, Newborn and Child Health. With good leadership, some countries have made huge leaps in improving maternal and child health. Ethiopia and Rwanda have reduced maternal mortality with special investment in health workers.
Midwives are very, very key. But we all know that Uganda is short of trained midwives.
We should encourage more midwifery schools to be set in, and the midwives who are out there, their salary should be improved a little.
At the China-Uganda Friendly Hospital in Naguru, Kampala, about 150 mothers come for antenatal care, but there are way too many for the few midwives here.
The community expects us to do wonders for them, and we find there is a lot of litigation on our side.
We are only 2 doctors. Okay? We should like at least 6 doctors per department.
Odwe, the executive director of the Action Group for Health, Human Rights and HIV/AIDS, AGA, says the government has not been allocating adequate resources.
You find that a health facility in this country is given only 120,000 Uganda shillings for outreaches, and that cannot be enough. But the challenge is with the executives, because they are the ones who control resources. Their priority is not in health.
Better funding or resource allocation would also cater for family planning, which according to WHO could cut the number of maternal deaths by almost a third, because then women would have the power to decide how many children to have and when.
Most of the basic drugs, blood sometimes is a problem of the time.
An effort to cope and save other mothers. With the support of his church in Busega in Wakiso district and friends, Godfrey Wamala started a foundation in his late wife's memory. The Remy Foundation for Maternal and Child Health focuses on raising awareness on the plight of women and children.
Because if we sit down, people will die. My wife died.
There is need to do more about maternal health.
Activists say more of such partnerships are needed, and also underscore the integration of different sectors in the country. An analysis in the Lancet Every Newborn series released in May showed that 3 million maternal and newborn deaths and stillbirth in 75 high-burden countries, including Uganda, could be prevented if each person donated $1.15, approximately 3,000 Uganda shillings per year, for the cause, just once. Florence Salimba, NTV.
Thank you, Florence. Now, in the final episode of our Inside Luzira series, Solomon Serwanja meets the former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Local Government, John Kashaka, on his visit to the men's ward. We also take you behind the scenes of the health facilities at the Correctional Center.
When the clock strikes 5 p.m., all inmates at the Luzira Maction Bay prison are expected to be in their wards. We visited one of the wards where we found some inmates sleep on the floor, while those more privileged get a bed. There are 40 inmates in this ward, including John Kashaka, the former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Local Government. Kashaka is serving a 10-year jail sentence for orchestrating the financial loss of 4.2 billion Uganda shillings in the bungled procurement of 70,000 bicycles.
When you cross here and you see how people eat and sleep, those are real prisoners.
That's why most of them want to live here. There are people who go out and come back because this is a lot better than outside.
He says his experience in prison is a story that he has already started to document in a book that he hopes to release when he's finally out. Kashaka shares this ward with other elite prisoners who draw strength from each other that help them live another day. It's an organized ward where every member is expected to play by the rules. One of the rules is maintaining hygiene. We also visited the Maction Bay prison, which can be likened to Mulago Hospital. The hospital, whose capacity accommodates 100 patients, has both inpatient and outpatient wings with 5 doctors and 3 nurses.
Yes, inpatients we have ward 1 where we do surgical cases, ward 2 is for any other medical condition, and then ward 3 is for TB cases and co-infection. And then we have the annex, where we put some of the patients to wait for doctor. Ward 10 is for mental cases.
It is worse when an inmate is admitted since there are no caretakers. Fellow inmates can only visit once in a while because they are not allowed to freely access the hospital premises. At this time of the visit, there was only this nurse attending to all the 4 wards of the hospital. She says most of the inmates that come to the facility have diarrhea-related diseases.
Mostly, which is associated with the HIV, and the other infections like diarrhea also there, and dysentery not so common.
Cases that are complicated or those that the doctors find troublesome are referred to Mulago Hospital. And just like any other hospital, this medical center is sometimes faced with a shortage of drug supplies.
We have small problems with the drugs, mostly those big drugs like ceftriaxone even is in constant supply.
A lot more needs to be done to improve the services of this dilapidated hospital. And while Luzira may be a destination for those the society considers criminals, it is no doubt undergoing a transformation from a mere dungeon to a rehabilitation center. Solomon Serwanja, NTV.
We will take another short break and return with the latest in NTV Weekend Sport.
You are watching NTV Weekend Edition.
Use White Star Laundry Bar Soap with a lemon fragrance and you'll have a fresh, clean day. Be like a star. Use White Star.
Don't disturb Daddy. My daddy is a star.
White Star Laundry Bar Soap. All day fresh clean.
More cars sold through checky.co.ug than anywhere else. Visit www.checky.co.ug today, Uganda's #1 car website.
Eight top clubs, the world's best lineup: Cristiano Ronaldo, Gareth Bale, Karim Benzema. Is Real Madrid on their way to win the championship? Will Toure and Nasri lead their own club to make a breakthrough? Van Persie, Rooney, Manchester United need the chance to prove themselves after changing the coach. 2014 International Champions Cup. New start, new journey, all on StarTimes Sport 2.
NTV Sport is brought to you by
Smart, the new mobile network for new Africa. Let's talk.
Welcome to NTV Weekend Sport. Umar Mayanja has claimed the Independence Rally accolade after an impressive performance on final day at Mbugu Star City. Yasman Gat failed to complete the race in a venue being considered by the National Sports Governing Body for inclusion in the forthcoming calendars, as Alfred Odom reports.
Umar Mayanja has claimed this year's Independence Rally crown after he put up a brilliant display on day 2 of the competition held at Matuga Mbuga Star City. Mayanja's resilience after finishing 4th on day 1 saw him beat Geoffrey Black Widow Kiyaga to 2nd place, while pace setter and former national champion Rala Sevuguzi came 3rd. Mechanical failure forced Jas Mangat out of the race, but he hopes to put up a stellar performance in the last 2 National Rally Championship scoring events. The National Motorsport Governing Body FMEA are also making assessment of the Matuga Mbuga Circuit, which is being considered calendar events in the subsequent seasons. Sebuguzi remains on the summit of the National Rally Championship table. Wilberforce Polekole is second, while Jonas Kansime and Umar Mayanja are third and fourth respectively. Alfred Odong, NTV Weekend Sport.
And on to basketball, City Oilers have beaten Tigerhead Power by 73 to 66 points. The Oilers' Kami Kabange put up a spirited fight to ensure that the Oilers cement their victory over Power. The defending champion City Oilers continue to look for their second title in a row after claiming their first trophy in their maiden season in Uganda's Premier League. And on to swimming, Nambeguya Kagugube, Hannah Ayera and John Kafumbe inspired Seals Swim Club to glory with the highest individual scores in the just concluded Independence Championships held in Kampala. The competition, which runs for 2 days, is aimed at nurturing talent.
Hot temperatures and these kids chase a ball on a red dirt pitch in Kalangala. They too have hopes of making it big one day and leaving the Kasekro fish landing site tucked away in Sese Islands, Kalangala district. These kids though have to beat many odds if they are ever to make it big.
I admire Manchester United.
Thank you, man. Seals Swim Club dominated the girls, boys and combined team events in the National Independence Championships in Kampala to claim the overall title. Seals amassed 518 points, 2 more than International School in Uganda, who came in second, while Dolphin Swim Club were third with a collection of 454. Uganda Swimming Federation officials used the event to familiarize the youngsters with the events that run for more than a day, a usual arrangement used by the local body due to financial constraints.
These games normally take place over 4 to 5 days, so we're slowly trying to introduce our swimmers to what it means to take part in an international event. We're hoping that next year we shall be able to run it for more days and also invite some of our regional peers from Zone 3, so Kenya, Burundi, Rwanda, have expressed an interest to now come and take part because this event is becoming bigger and bigger every year.
The national swimming authorities are also set to come up with a calendar with competitions spread across the year for primary, secondary schools, universities, and international in nature. Alfred Odong, NTV Weekend Sport.
We apologize for that mix-up in the reports. Now, Ugandan sports administrators have outlined a range of development programs for the youth across the country, but their efforts haven't yet yielded, as some Mpoza recently found out in Kalangala district.
Under unforgiving hot temperatures and bare feet, these kids chase a ball on a red dirt pitch in Kalangala. They too have hopes of making it big one day and leaving the Kasekro fish landing site tucked away in Sese Islands, Kalangala district. These kids though have to beat
Manchester United.
No wonder then that locals prefer fishing to honing their sporting talent. Kingdom organized the Masaza Cup tournament. It's the only premier sports event held here on the island.
These children learn by seeing role models. So when you train them without seeing any role model in a community, they will say this one prayed from now. We are not seeing him over praying like in Masaza over national teams over Super League like that. They may think it is a wastage of time.
It doesn't help matters that skeptical from participating in sports activities at school.
Saying that they waste a lot of time in activities instead of reading their books.
The few who choose to stay have a huge harm. The hurdle comes of age limit. that only tends to primary school children aged 12 and below.
The under 14 and under 16, they stop at school. School level, they don't continue.
Although FUFA and the Uganda Olympic Committee continue to be nevertheless clinging on the frail hope of battling on, if only they can gain exposure.
That's all we had time for in NTV Weekend Sport tonight.
English Premier League's greatest stars is brought to you by
Guinness. Discover a world of more. Guinness. Discover a world of more.
We are optimistic, positive. We are building today a brighter tomorrow by realizing our potential. We are smart, the new mobile network for New Africa. Let's talk.
And that winds up NTV Weekend Edition tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'm Rukshana Namwimba. Good night.